In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on January 25th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Pelicans versus Charlotte Hornets. The New Orleans Pelicans are set to play on the road Saturday against the Charlotte Hornets. Both teams will be competing in the second half of a back-to-back, as they are scheduled to play games on Friday as well. Earlier in the week, the Pelicans secured a victory over the Utah Jazz with a score of 123-119 on Monday, but their Wednesday matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks was postponed due to snow. New Orleans enters Saturday's contest riding a 4-game winning streak. Meanwhile, Charlotte is coming off a 133-120 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday, followed by a Friday game against the Portland Trail Blazers. Currently, the Hornets trail the 10th and final playoff qualifying spot in the Eastern Conference by 5.5 games. The Pelicans continue to be without key players Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, while the Hornets have confirmed that Seth Curry will be sidelined again. Heading into Saturday's game, New Orleans is favored on the road, as they were performing at a high level prior to encountering the strong Memphis Grizzlies team the previous night. In contrast, the Hornets appear to be regressing after showing some promise during a brief winning streak. New Orleans has been more effective on the road, winning 3 of their last 4 away games, whereas Charlotte has struggled significantly at home, losing 9 of their last 11 home contests. The Pelicans hold an advantage in shooting, converting over 43% of their field goal attempts on the road compared to the Hornets' 42% shooting at home. Additionally, New Orleans excels at creating opportunities, consistently finding open teammates and dominating the boards. They have averaged more than 14 offensive rebounds per game in their last 3 outings, providing them with additional scoring opportunities. Furthermore, they've minimized turnovers, averaging fewer than 10 per game in the same span, which limits the opposition's chances for easy points. On the other hand, the Hornets have struggled defensively, allowing an average of 120 points per game in their last 3 matchups. Playing on consecutive nights may also leave Charlotte fatigued, making it more difficult for them to slow down a confident Pelicans squad. Both teams will be playing their second games in as many nights, which could have a greater impact on Charlotte due to their injury concerns. Several Hornets players are listed as game-time decisions or ruled out, and those who do play may struggle with the physical demands of consecutive games. Meanwhile, the Pelicans have been riding a wave of momentum with a 4-game winning streak leading into Friday's game against Memphis, and Saturday's matchup with Charlotte could provide a favorable opportunity for them to extend their success. DeJounte Murray's return has bolstered New Orleans, and CJ McCollum continues to deliver strong scoring performances. When Zion Williamson has been able to take the court, his impact has been undeniable. The Pelicans have covered the spread in 5 of their last 6 games. Typically, I might favor a home underdog in a scenario where both teams are playing the second half of a back-to-back. However, the Hornets are missing one of their top players, Brandon Miller, and are coming off a loss to the Trail Blazers. In contrast, the Pelicans are in one of their healthiest stretches of the season, which coincides with their recent run of 5 wins in their last 7 games. Zion's availability would be a crucial factor, but the current line suggests that New Orleans has the upper hand in terms of health and readiness. So the New Orleans Pelicans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Pelicans have played games that went over the total in their last 3 outings, while the Hornets have seen the total go over in 4 of their last 5 contests. New Orleans averages 109 points per game and operates at the 12th fastest pace in the league, averaging 102.7 possessions per game. They will face a Charlotte team that has surrendered an average of 120 points per game in their last 3 contests. On the other hand, the Hornets score an average of 107 points per game and play at the 18th fastest pace with 102.4 possessions per game. They'll be up against a New Orleans defense that allows an average of 118 points per game on the road. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus Orlando Magic. The Detroit Pistons are set to face the Orlando Magic in an intriguing conference matchup scheduled for Saturday evening. The Pistons are coming off an impressive road victory against the Atlanta Hawks in their previous outing. Meanwhile, the Magic are looking to recover from a disappointing home loss to the Portland Trail Blazers on Thursday. Notably, each team has secured one home win in this season's series, adding another layer of intrigue to this game. The Pistons remain slightly undermanned, as Jaden Ivey is still unavailable. On the other side, the Magic continue to grapple with injury issues, with Gary Harris ruled out once again. Additionally, key players Jalen Suggs, Goga Bitadze, and Cole Anthony are all listed as questionable for this matchup. Detroit appears to have some momentum, having won 4 of their last 6 games, while Orlando is trending in the opposite direction with 5 consecutive losses. The Pistons have the edge in this contest due to their efficient shooting, connecting on over 48% of their field goals over the past 3 games, compared to the Magic's struggles, shooting below 41% during the same stretch. Detroit has also excelled at the free throw line, converting over 77% of their attempts. Furthermore, their strong offensive rebounding, averaging over 10 boards per game on the road, provides them with additional scoring opportunities. Although the Magic are typically a solid defensive team, injuries have hampered their effectiveness, making it difficult for them to slow down Detroit in this matchup. The Magic are still favored at home, particularly with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner back in the lineup after recovering from injuries. However, their presence wasn't enough to prevent a 22-point loss to the Trail Blazers. The Pistons have been a reliable pick lately, winning 7 of their last 10 games and posting a profitable 23-20-1 against the spread record for the season. Detroit's gritty defense has been the cornerstone of their success in tight, hard-fought games. Additionally, the Pistons defeated the Magic by 9 points earlier this month on New Year's Day. Given the uncertainty surrounding Orlando's lineup, it's essential to check the rosters before tip-off, as player availability could significantly impact the betting line. Nevertheless, the Pistons enter this contest in better form, relatively healthier, and offer solid value as underdogs against a struggling, injury-plagued Magic team. So the Detroit Pistons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams have leaned toward the under in recent games, with the Pistons staying under the total in 3 of their last 4 contests, and the Magic hitting the under in their last 3. Detroit is averaging 112 points per game and plays at the 8th fastest pace in the league, with an average of 104.4 possessions per game. They are facing an Orlando team that allows only 102 points per game at home. Conversely, the Magic average 103 points per game and operate at the slowest pace in the NBA, managing just 99.7 possessions per game. They will be up against a Detroit defense that has surrendered 108 points per game over its last 3 contests. Historically, matchups between these two teams have also tended to go under, with 5 of their last 6 meetings ending below the projected total. Detroit has failed to surpass 115 points in 3 of their previous 4 games, which aligns with Orlando's defensive tendencies. The Magic's slow pace of play makes it challenging for opponents to post high-scoring totals. In the 2 matchups between these teams this season, Detroit has averaged only 102.5 points. Compounding the Magic's issues, they are missing 2 of their top 4 scorers and have struggled mightily on offense, scoring 100 or fewer points in their last 5 games. Their offensive woes are evident in their league rankings, sitting at 29th in field goal percentage and 30th in three-point shooting. The under has been a consistent trend, hitting in 5 of the last 6 encounters between these teams. With points likely to be scarce, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Raptors versus Atlanta Hawks. The Toronto Raptors, who currently hold a record of 12-32 and sit in 14th place in the Eastern Conference, are set to visit the Atlanta Hawks at State Farm Arena on Saturday. This matchup marks the second time these two teams will meet within a span of 3 days. Toronto emerged victorious in the first game of this short series, narrowly defeating Atlanta 122-119 on Thursday night. The Raptors have been in solid form recently, securing 2 consecutive wins and triumphing in 4 of their last 5 games. However, they remain 6.5 games behind the 10th place team in the Eastern Conference standings, with only the top 10 teams qualifying for the postseason. Conversely, Atlanta has now lost 3 straight games, including their recent defeat to Toronto, and holds an even 22-22 record. The Hawks are in 8th place in the Eastern Conference, maintaining a 5.5 game lead over the 11th place Philadelphia 76ers. In terms of player availability, the Raptors continue to be without Ochai Agbaji, Emmanuel Quickley, and Kelly Olynyk. Similarly, the Hawks have ruled out Jalen Johnson and Zachary Rissasher, while Trae Young is listed as questionable for this game. Toronto's recent success has been fueled by excellent performances from Scottie Barnes and R.J. Barrett, as well as the return of key players from injury, which has bolstered their bench. Atlanta's absences, particularly the two 6'8" wings Jalen Johnson and Zachary Rissasher, have negatively impacted their defensive capabilities. To add to their woes, Trae Young's hamstring injury casts doubt on his availability. The Hawks have also been struggling offensively, particularly with their three-point shooting. During their current three-game losing streak, the Raptors are in better form and, as they regain their health, could potentially mount a push for the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta's defensive struggles are evident, as they rank 28th in the league in points allowed. While their offense is ranked 7th, it has not been enough to offset their defensive deficiencies. The Hawks have managed to cover the spread in just 3 of their last 11 games and have struggled in January, covering the spread in only 4 of their last 17 games. In contrast, Toronto has covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games and 7 of their last 10 meetings against Atlanta. These trends underline the Raptors' recent consistency and the Hawks' struggles. Injuries continue to plague the Hawks, with Trae Young's questionable status being particularly concerning. This is a setback for Atlanta, which already has an 18-26 record against the spread this season, following a poor record as a cover team last year. Meanwhile, the Raptors are nearing full health for the first time this season, which has coincided with their recent surge, winning 4 of their last 5 games outright as underdogs. Beating the same team twice in a row is challenging, but Toronto's ability to rally defensively in crunch time during Thursday's win underscores their potential to repeat their success. While Atlanta will be motivated for revenge, Toronto's improved form over the past 5 games makes them strong contenders to pull off another upset. So the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams have defensive issues, with Toronto ranking 26th in points allowed and Atlanta sitting just below them at 28th. Their last meeting on Thursday night saw a combined total of 141 points, surpassing the closing line of 237.5 points. The total has also gone over in 13 of the last 19 games between these teams, 8 of Atlanta's last 10 home games, and all of their last 5 home games against Toronto. The Hawks are second in the NBA in pace, and the Raptors rank 10th, indicating a high-paced game. The offensive capabilities of both teams are expected to shine in this matchup. Toronto has been playing some of their best offensive basketball recently, with Scottie Barnes and R.J. Barrett leading the charge, averaging a combined 42 points per game. While the Raptors remain 25th in the league in defensive rating and have allowed plenty of points this season, Atlanta boasts several scoring options, even with some players sidelined. Dander Hunter and Bogdan Bogdanovic are likely to see increased minutes and have been effective shooters recently. Dyson Daniels is another bright spot for the Hawks, continuing to improve in both shooting and playmaking. However, Atlanta's defensive struggles and the absence of key wing defenders will make it difficult for them to contain Toronto's offense. With neither team excelling defensively and both favoring an up-tempo style of play, this game promises to be high-scoring and fast-paced. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Rockets versus Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 of the top teams from each conference are set to face off on Saturday night. The Houston Rockets narrowly defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday night, eking out a 109-108 victory as +1 underdogs at home. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers suffered a hard-fought loss on Friday night against the Philadelphia 76ers, falling 132-129 despite being -9 favorites in that matchup. The Rockets will head into this game with their lineup unchanged, while the Cavaliers remain without key players Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, and Karis LeVert. Houston enters the matchup with strong momentum, having won 8 of their last 9 road games, while Cleveland has been less consistent, splitting their last 4 contests. Houston's advantage lies in their efficient shooting, as they are converting over 44% of their shots on the road. Their effective ball movement and dominance on the boards, averaging more than 15 offensive rebounds per game away from home, provide them with valuable second-chance scoring opportunities. Additionally, the Rockets excel at limiting turnovers, which minimizes easy scoring chances for their opponents. While Cleveland is typically a solid defensive team, their recent struggles and the fatigue of playing on consecutive nights could hinder their ability to contain a surging Houston offense. This matchup effectively serves as a home-and-home series for Houston, while Cleveland's schedule featured a challenging game against Philadelphia sandwiched between their 2 meetings with the Rockets. In the first encounter earlier this week, Houston narrowly escaped with a win. having let their intensity drop late in the game. With no intervening contest to distract them, Houston's coaching staff is likely emphasizing the importance of maintaining focus and effort for the full 48 minutes. Securing another win against Cleveland, especially on their home court, would be a significant boost for the Rockets. Meanwhile, Cleveland is coming off a tough loss in Philadelphia and may be feeling the effects of their recent travel schedule. As teams begin to wind down for the All-Star break, Houston appears to be gaining momentum. The Rockets are 2-0 against the spread in their last 2 meetings with the Cavaliers. It's safe to assume the Cleveland Cavaliers will be motivated to bounce back in this game after losing to both the Rockets and a struggling, injury-plagued 76ers team. Surely, the Cavaliers won't allow themselves to drop 3 straight games, will they? Regardless, the Rockets are a young and confident team that seems to be embracing the role of underdog contenders this season. Games like these allow them to prove their potential and make a statement to the rest of the league. Houston has already defeated strong opponents like the Memphis Grizzlies twice, secured a road victory over the Denver Nuggets, and recently edged out the Cavaliers. This upward trajectory suggests the Rockets are evolving into a team that should not be underestimated, and their growing momentum is hard to ignore. Beating the same team twice in a row is never easy, so it's not surprising to see Cleveland open as favorites on their home floor. However, Houston is healthy, playing some of their best basketball of the season, and catching the Cavaliers at an opportune moment. So the Houston Rockets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their Wednesday matchup, the two teams combined for 217 points, falling short of the 229-point total and hitting the under. Both squads have experienced occasional offensive lulls in recent weeks, but they generally maintain strong offensive production. The Rockets have scored at least 119 points in 7 of their last 9 games. Houston ranks 11th in the league in possessions per game and leads the NBA in field goal attempts per game. Meanwhile, Cleveland ranks 13th in field goal attempts and 9th in possessions per game, scoring at least 118 points in 4 of their last 6 games. Across the season, these teams have combined for 51 games where the total has gone over. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.